The Kriega Trail18 that we have with us here today is new for Spring/Summer 2020. It's one of 3 new product launches for this year, and it's their first new products that they've released for about 3 years in all. So it's great to see new stuff coming from this highly respected brand in the motorcycle luggage world. The Trail18, as the name implies, has obviously been designed very much with that kind of trail riding focus. However, I took a real shine to this, and I think this is a fantastic choice for the needs of the urban rider, because there is nothing to say this cannot be used outside of a trail. In fact, there are lots of things about it that lend itself perfectly to urban rider usage. Namely, the fact that this is an 18-litre bag is a great amount of literage to have as a storage capacity for day rides, possibly if you pack light for weekends as well. If you need more than that, you're going to need the 25, 30 or 35-litre variants from Kriega. But this is something that really is very ergonomic. It features a quad lock light as opposed to the quad lock standard double jointed system on the front harness. So this means it's designed to take lighter loads. It's incredibly good looking and it's surprisingly practical. The 18-litre storage capacity is divided, broadly speaking, into 2 internal compartments, one that's 10 and one that's 8 litres. 10 litres being the one that's sort of mostly water resistant, and the one that is 8 litres being the one that is fully waterproofed. We'll go through it in a bit more detail in a moment. But obviously it also features this front kind of webbing system, which I really like. It's something that I think looks quite cool, but also it's just quite practical for things like rain jackets, or if you've got something you just want easy access to stuff in the front. I like that approach. It's kind of a little bit sort of basic, but also quite functional. The other good thing about this bag is here we have it in the black, but it's also available in a lime and in an orange, and these are sort of the high-vis colours. And I am not personally a fan of wearing high-vis on a jacket. I think that renders your jacket ugly as anything, and if you are thinking about using it off the bike, you simply look like you're a car park attendant. So having high-vis is obviously a good thing. Having it on a backpack is a really good thing, because you take your backpack off when you get to where you're going, broadly speaking, and that means that this is something separate to your gear, so you can wear nice, understated, black, if you like, gear throughout that just looks really good, and have that practical sort of high-vis function coming from your backpack, which I think looks a little bit more acceptable. And I think it looks really good in these bags as well. So all 3 variants are going to be available within the next few days. So going through the features of it, the main body of the bag is accessed via a zip that runs around the top. And weirdly, it kind of runs slightly further down this side than it does this side. We only have it running down to here, so it makes opening up a little bit more difficult. We're just going to remove the storage out of it. Inside, we have space for a 3.5 litre reservoir or a 2 litre reservoir, respectively, and those are an optional extra. So if you wanted a hydration pack, it's very much designed to go with that. You're looking at around £30 or £45 for those as optional extras, which you can buy through the Urban Rider website. You also then have this separate compartment, which has a roll top system to it and has this nice durable, heavy duty carry handle as well. The body of the bag is made with this Hypalon 420 denier called Dura Outer, so it's what Kriega use in most of their bags, very hard wearing, and all their bags come with a 10-year guarantee, so that's a real assurance. This is priced at $179, so price per year, that's pretty damn good going. And as I said, as I've had my R25 for 15 years, I can vouch for the longevity of these products. Just removing a little bit more storage. So this main compartment here, now this is quite an interesting point for me, because I fully assumed, given that in one of our other video reviews we've just released, we have shown you the Kriega Max 28, very much designed with the aesthetics and the functions of an urban rider in mind. And I mentioned how it was a little bit of a struggle to actually get a 15-inch laptop in, which is something that a lot of people probably are going to want to use that bag for, because you're commuting into work. A lot of people want to carry a laptop. So a 15-inch just about gets in if you've got something slimline. Now with this one, it doesn't mention a laptop anywhere at all in the spec, but it fits far more easily in here. So I have this 15-inch MacBook in there, and it goes right the way down. It's very easy with it in to roll the actual roll top down, whereas in the other one, you really have to kind of make sure you're using every tiny available bit of millimeterage on the actual fabric. So it rolls down really easily, and that means that you can get a laptop in no problem at all. So again, quite practical for me. One thing to note, because you've got this 8-10 litre divide totaling this 18 storage capacity internally, it does mean that if you've got something bulky and awkward, like a really big pair of work boots, perhaps that you generally commute with, this isn't really the ideal bag. It's better for streamlined products if you have sort of smaller items, flatter things like laptops as well. The inside of this is essentially a dry pack that Kriega do actually offer separately as well. It's white lined, which makes it nice and easy to see things, which I quite like as a practicality point of view. And because it's this roll top, it's 100% waterproof. And if you're carrying a laptop, then it's fairly likely that that laptop is going to be the most valuable thing that you're carrying, and therefore definitely worth having it nice and safe and sound. Inside the main body, on the sort of underside of that roll top compartment, you have another little dry bag with an extra little bit of storage. I think they say this is 1 litre, and that's nice. You just got a bit of extra storage if in the main body that is 100% waterproof, as opposed to what they call water resistant, and that has a small zip access on the front of it as well. So a couple of different pockets there, but not too much going on inside. You don't have the kind of document storage for things like pens and stuff that you get more readily on the Max 28, but of course you can put all that stuff in here just the same. You have a couple of sort of netting systems just at the bottom of the internal storage of the bag, but basically apart from that, relatively simple what's going on inside. So I would say if you're somebody that doesn't need masses of storage capacity, then the nature and design of this bag is fantastic for those day trips, getting into work. I really like the look of it. There's nothing here that means I think it's exclusively usable on a trail ride. So now that we've got everything out of it, moving around to the front or the back, depending on which way you look at it. So you do have a removable waist harness. It is a little bit fiddly to remove and put on. So it basically requires you to actually thread it through the clips on the lower side around the waist. So I would just keep it on. It's always useful having that. It gives you that stability at higher speeds if you're maneuvering more on the bike. The quad lock light system is what we get here. So this is what features generally in everything up to their R20, with the exception of the Max 28, the urban bag they've just released. Do check out that video review. It's a fantastic bag. That comes in at about £20 more, but you do get an awful lot of functionality and spec in that. So the quad lock light is one simple system here. It spreads the weight distribution really, really nicely. And the other thing I like is the fact that on the straps you have these little dots just to indicate how loose or tight you've got it. So you can always get it the same, but also you can easily adjust it if you need to a point that you know is kind of predefined for you. Very easy adjustment on the lower sections as well, just by a simple draw strap. Very nice padding on the underside with a good degree of sort of aeration, this honeycomb effect with the foam padding behind it. Nice and comfortable, well engineered, ergonomic. A little carry handle stroke hanging point as well on that part of the bag. And you've got this drawstring, I forgot to mention, just on this sort of front webbing, which is made out of the same Hypalon construction as the majority of the bag as well. So that can be released a lot. If you wanted to get something quite big under there, potentially you could. This is elasticated, so that kind of comes out quite far. And as you can see, you could actually get something quite chunky under there. Potentially even that pair of boots, I suppose, in theory, though they're not going to be kept aside from the elements. So just putting this on for a second, just to see kind of how ergonomically this fits. This is the bag that I think stacks up pretty well against its rivals in terms of spec and execution. You know it's going to be top drawer because it's a Kriega product. And even fully loaded, I don't think with 18 litres of capacity in it, it's going to feel particularly cumbersome at all. So I'm a massive fan of this. I think they've done really, really well. And as I said, in spite of the name, I think this is totally one to consider if you're an urban rider and you're unlikely to need more than 20 litres in total of storage. So leave us your thoughts, comments, questions, feedback, etc. below, and do stay tuned for more video reviews of Kriega's new products. We have one more coming, which is a new messenger bag, which is an update on a very popular model that they've had a few years. And of course, stay tuned for more video reviews of all of the world's finest riding gear. Stay safe, thanks for watching, goodbye.